The armchair strategist in the posh, privileged newsrooms of places like the New York Times and the Washington Post, they can try to wish away the danger, but it won't change the fact. Our world is a perilous place, and evil still exists in it. The lessons of 9/11 must stay with us now and going forward if we want to protect our children and our grandchildren from the brutality of those who hate us for our faith and our freedom. We may never see, and God, I pray that we don't, another event on the magnitude of 9/11. But even as we speak today, the FBI is racing to foil another credible terrorist plot. The decisions necessary for our nation to make to deal with these type of incidents and these types of dangers, those decisions will be difficult. But America has weathered this storm before. When we consider the many trials borne by our great nation, it seems none was as difficult or vexing as the divide of this nation during our Civil War. President Lincoln was able to see past the strife and the pain facing Americans and envision the nation and what this nation was, and indeed what he knew that it could be. He knew that we are a resilient people, and that with faith and freedom, we can overcome any adversity. At one of the darkest times of the war that would eventually claim the lives of more than 600,000 Americans, think about that for a second. We've lost a lot of our young people in Iraq and Afghanistan. We here did not live through the days of the Civil War, but great Americans before us did. And our nation survived then. The President summarized the challenge facing his generation. His words instruct our own generation today as we face different challenges, both from abroad in the form of terrorists and here at home in the form of an economic and jobs crisis. Speaking to my predecessors in the U.S. Congress, our President said this. President Lincoln said, "The fiery trial through which we pass will light us down in honor or dishonor to the last generation." Now that's the way they spoke back then. You've heard that very same term in modern language. How many times have you heard, "It's not the trial that defines you, but how you respond to it that defines you"? That's what President Lincoln said to them then. It applies to us today. Earlier, as he left home in Illinois to lead a country screaming with discord, he told us what it was that gave him the confidence to lead. Mr. Lincoln said, "Without the assistance of God, I cannot succeed. Amen. With that assistance, I cannot fail." Amen. Trusting in Him, trusting in Him who can go with me and remain with you and be everywhere for good, let us confidently hope that all will yet be well. Lincoln knew that this nation cannot endure without the freedom our founding fathers fought for in the War of Independence. Nor can it endure without the faith that those same founders wrote about in our Declaration of Independence. With that in mind, it's sad for me to note that the mayor of New York City has largely banned prayers and members of the clergy from the 9/11 ceremony being held at Ground Zero today. Now, I've never met Mayor Bloomberg, but I will pray for him to open his heart and listen for the guidance that the great leaders of this country who have gone before him have sought from the divine providence spoken of in our founding documents. see, Mr. Bloomberg, today is a day for us to be united as Americans, but it is also a day for us to be united in prayer.
Amen.
If we do resolve to come together and face our nation's version of these fiery trials that President Lincoln talked about, I have every confidence that we will succeed. And here's why. My confidence is based on my faith and my fervent belief that America is an exceptional country. You see, God ordained this nation to be exceptional because He placed within it very ordinary people that consistently do very extraordinary things. I share the view our founders had that there is a very real right and there is also a very real wrong. And that means there's a right way to run a country and a wrong way to run a country. Hitler's Germany, Stalin's Russia are two recent examples of the wrong way to run a country. And the United States of America, and everybody around the world knows this, is the world's best example of the right way to run a country. But politicians and bureaucrats in Washington have done their level best to take this great nation down the wrong track. As someone you sent to Congress to start the process of change, believe me when I tell you that there is much to be done. So as we look back at where America has been since the tragedy of 9/11, I think we'd be wise to do two things. First, remember. Remember the lives that were lost on that fateful day. Remember those who willingly gave their lives, those first responders, to walk into those flaming towers knowing that they probably would not be coming back out alive. And remember those that today are fighting for our freedom on foreign soil to protect America's freedom. But also, let us resolve. Let us resolve to look forward and address the challenges ahead with the spirit of unity and national pride that enveloped us on 9/12. Ladies and gentlemen, with faith and freedom as our touchstones, I believe we can do just that. We cannot fail. God bless you. God bless America. Let's never forget who we are. God bless you.